Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at a fun team for actually the Ultra League here. We got some battle centers with a triple shiny shadow team with the Honchcrow as well. Honchcrow is a Pokemon that I actually played back in the day quite often, like early seasons, like first 3 seasons or something before XL was a thing, because Honchcrow actually had a great matchup against a lot of Pokemon in the meta like the Giratina here as well. So let's take a look here at the battles you're going to have. 3 shiny shadow Pokemon, which is kind of cool, but also like if you still remember the time where Honchcrow was still kind of a decent pick, feel free to leave a like on the video. And if you are more of someone who joined PvP recently, would really appreciate if you write in the comment section when you joined PvP, because basically, for example, recently I made a video about team building and like in-depth stuff in terms of this kind of stuff. For me, like that's kind of things that I just know in and out because I am playing the game since it came out, and also PvP since PvP was out, and I've built now over 1000 teams most likely in my life, which is kind of mad. So for me, like that's like the standard stuff. Like I know the kind of stuff, but like of course people just are new to the game and just starting into PvP, they kind of appreciate this thing. So I kind of would like to see how many people from this community are actually like more newer towards PvP, how many people are already like a little bit older into this. So feel free to leave it in the comment section as well. Would really appreciate it, as we might actually see a sweep here of the shadow variant of the Pinsir here. As we see here, Excadrill is going to do massive damage. This is going to be so interesting to see, because you're going to see another one coming through. It is going to be able to take the knockout, and in comes again the opponent's Registeel. But it's going to be a close matchup because Registeel should be able to survive one superpower here, barely going to be able to survive it. But yeah, a Zapcan should most likely knock you out. It is going to be the Zapcan and does knock you out, but you still have the Dark Pulse on the Honchcrow. Honchcrow is an insane attack set. Is going to be enough? It actually is. Honestly, it is kinda mad on how strong the attack set is of Honchcrow, and honestly, it's one of the Pokemon that I really hope gonna get buffed soon. I'm gonna make a video very soon as well where I'm gonna talk about 10 potential moves that could get buffed, where maybe one could also be something interesting for Honchcrow. But yeah, anyway, later on today we're going to see a video about the top usage for Elite Fast TMs. Kinda wanted to update that list as well, so hopefully you enjoy those tier lists again as well. And there's going to be a lot more content coming up as well in the next few weeks that are non-battle content and more towards like, okay, what updates could happen and stuff like this. And thanks also so much for the recent, that's an interesting earthquake by the way. Thanks for the recent support on those type of videos, because yeah, of course, currently Go Battle League and Pokemon Go is kinda stale and kinda not as interesting for a lot of people, but those videos still kinda got a lot of like interest, which is cool to see for me, because they're always way more effort than just, of course, commentating over battles that got sent in, for example, like this here. So yeah, it's always just a lot of effort, and so it's always nice to see some positive reviews. But anyway, look at this blast burn completely melting through the wall right now. We gotta just commentate the video. So, we're going to see a Gliscor in the Elite. This is going to be pretty bad for you, so you kind of want to swap out straight away, as they're going to retaliate here straight away with the Ampharos, which is going to be a little bit annoying. I feel like the bait definitely does make quite a lot of sense here, and we see the shield coming up straight away, as you're going to actually use a shield as well. I would have most likely let the move go through. Brutal Swing, I think, you still would have been able to survive, but I guess you can still go for a Blast Burn and get the final shield. And getting the final shield for this team is quite important, because you see so many nukes on all the Pokemon. We have Blast Burn, we have Superpower. Even Excadrill is now a nuke for this kind of Pokemon, and also, of course, a Brave Bird in the back, going to do so much damage when it's going to land. Here, you're forced to use a shield. You're going to be still in a very tough spot, so let's see if you can still come back from that one. You're forced to go for... I would have went for the Excadrill. Excadrill is kind of doing the exact same amount of damage as Superpower, but I guess it's going to take the knockout anyway, and we will see the Gliscor coming in and going out straight away into the Empoleon. I doubt that this is going to be enough here to knock them out, sadly. This seems like kind of a hard wall. I think if you had a shield up, you would have been most likely able to farm them down here, which is kind of mad, but sadly, this is going to go down. I don't think you're going to have a time here where you can win anything, but it is a game. Hard lead wall as well, so it was a tough one to come back from. But we can move on to the next one. Let's see what the next opponent is going to have here. It's going to be an Excadrill. Good old times where this Pokemon was like top tier meta as well. I kind of miss those times. Honestly, Ultra League was one of my favorite leagues back in the day before XL was released. Like, I know for like the game itself and for the longevity, XL is a good thing. But for me, and like for PvP itself, I think it was like the worst possible update that could have happened for PvP. Because like the people that don't know the time before XL, it was so much more fun to play PvP because everything was a little bit more squishier, everything didn't feel like so far apart, and now like you have those Pokemon like Bastion which just take super effective hit after super effective hit like it is nothing. And like back in the day, Pokemon like Haunter had like great play in the Open Great League, which was like so much fun to play because Haunter is so frail. But yeah, nowadays everything is more around like bulk and trying to outspeed everything with the fast moves and charge moves that you have. And so like, I don't know, I feel like PvP kind of always went a little bit more towards being super out spammy and being super bulky and stuff, just kind of highlighting the fun part of it. But it is what it is, we cannot really change it anyway, so why complain about it if you can't change it? Next one, we're gonna see the Mach. Oh, I want to see this Brave Bird. I just want to see this Brave Bird. Just going to appreciate it, not gonna commentate over it. Boom! Gotta completely destroy the opponent. What the hell was that? And so, I don't think this is the right call. This is going to be double effective, double resisted, while your Exer would be single resisted. And so Exer is, by the way to go here. Definitely some mistakes by this player as well. They are, I think, currently at like 2000 elo range, so it does make kind of sense as well, but they're still going to be able to win this one. So yes, Exer is resisted from Ghost, but only single resisted. Also, Exer is now, I think, 65 damage for 40 energy, while Superpower is 80 damage for 40 energy. I think it is. Maybe it's even more than 80 damage, not too sure. But yeah, we're gonna see here, of course, now you can go for Superpower against the Lickilicky. Honestly, a good Pokemon for the Ultra League, kind of underrated. It's just, yeah, very difficult to kind of build this one, and then again, like there are a lot of fighting type Pokemon around, which is a little bit annoying. Here I would have went into the Honchcrow. Both are okay here, by the way, both options, but Honchcrow would have allowed you to resist the lick damage, which would be kind of cool for you, but yeah, both going to knock them out with one shot anyway. In comes the Mach, you can just go for another Blast Burn. Honestly, Shadow Charizard is just gonna go to town at this point. You have two shields, like Shadow Charizard is not going to care at all, and you could even decide to let this move go through. Exactly, that's kind of what I wanted to say as well. It might be an Acid Spray. It is an Acid Spray. Now you can swap out, and Honchcrow can go for the full farm down, but we are not going to see a sweep as the opponent decides to forfeit. Next opponent, great lead for you again. Like, honestly, I like Pinsir quite a bit. Like, I feel like the type matchups, what it has, is kind of cool for it. What is not so cool is going to be Talonflame, but you can now swap into your Charizard and you're going to have a decent time there. The opponent uses actually a shield, which is kind of good for you. Going straight for the Dragon Claw is a little bit risky, because if they went for an extra Incinerate, they would have got that for free, but they decided to go straight for the charge move, so this is okay. This is not okay, because it's going to be a fly. I would have used a shield here for sure. But I guess you kind of want to try to sweep again with the Honchcrow in the back as you go for the CMP tie again here, I think, which actually was a smart decision at this point, as they're going to go for the charge move again. It's going to be the Flame Charge, and I guess you're going to try to go for the full farm down, but you're going to lose so much health in the process. But they swap out into a Hydreigon. What is going on here? You can go for the Brave Bird, knock them out straight away, as you will have to swap out straight away as well. As the opponent goes into a Cresselia, you're forced to use a shield here on a potential Moonblast. It is just going to be the Grass Knot though, which would be resisted, but you can't really take any hit with the Pokemon that they have anyway. In comes Excadrill, going to get a ton of damage onto them, and I feel like letting the move go through is the right call. It is okay though, because you're going to be able to go hopefully for the near full farm down. You're not going to be able to do that, but it is fine still. You would have been able to just snarl them down. That's why like I would have went for not that, but it doesn't matter because it can superpower the Talonflame, and this is going to be enough anyway, and so you can move on to the next opponent. Gallade, this time around not a Shadow variant. Let's see on how this matchup is going to play out. They're actually going to be able to resist all the charge moves with the Pokemon here. I won't say with all Pokemon, but Honchcrow is going to take neutral damage from close combat. Superpower against the Charizard is a little bit risky, or like a little bit tricky, but in general you're gonna put them a little bit lower towards like the Dragon Claw range, which is kind of cool for you. You can use a shield if you want to. It is going to be the Blast Burn, so it's a good shield to go for. Now you can just go for the Dragon Claw spam. You should outspeed them no matter what. And so the opponent is going to be forced to use a shield now. You can go for another one. It's going to be able to force another shield or take the knockout. Let's see what the opponent gonna do. They decide to use another shield here. And now you can even decide to let this move go through and go for the Honchcrow sweep again. And this is exactly what we're going to see here. I like the way you're playing this kinda, because I feel like everything you kinda try to just sweep with Honchcrow, which is a lot of fun in general for the video as well. A lot of starter frame drops there again, which is a little bit annoying, but you can go for the full farm. Now let's see what's coming in next. It is going to be the Gallade again, and I guess this is not going to take them out, but let's find out. It does take them out, never mind, never doubt the Honchcrow. As you're going to see the Mach coming in, you don't get to the move. That's so sad, but it's just an acid spray, is it? It is, you can survive this still, and you can go straight for the Brave Bird. Again, we're not gonna commentate over it. Boom, gotta knock them out, we can move on to the next opponent. Gliscor in the lead is going to be a little bit of a trickier one. Let's see what you can do here. We're gonna see the Poliwrath swapping in. You can go straight for the Blast Burn. Both are fine, like Blast Burn still does more damage than the Dragonclaw does because you're stabbed and Blast Burn is doing it half damage, but that's what I kind of wanted to say here as well. You have the potential of getting the shield from the opponent, which is quite nice, and so you might be able to flip this matchup, which would be kind of nice for you as well. You decide to use a shield here, which is fine. It's most likely going to be, oh, it's not an Ice Event, it's going to be the Scald, and you don't get the debuff, which is ginormous, because now you can go for the full farm down, and in comes the Cresselia, and so you can align yourself. This game is not over yet, because Gliscor has the potential to sweep your entire team, but you get the shield here, which is lovely and very important, because now you can align your Gliscor against your Honchcrow in the back, which is kind of important, as well as you can go into your Pinsir against the Cresselia. And so we're going to have a great matchup here. They're gonna go for the wrong move as well, and so you can go for another charge move, getting them closer to farm down range for your Pinsir as well, which is quite nice as well, as you can go straight into this, let the move go through, swap out maybe even straight away. You can swap out here straight away if you wanted to, but you're gonna do that a little bit later, which is still fine. You still should be able to go for the full farm down as the opponent just went for the charge move. Moonblast coming through, they don't get the debuff, and now it's going to be Brave Bird time again. And so many booms going to hit here today. Bye-bye there, and we can see the Cresselia going down. Second to last battle for today, we're going to encounter another Cresselia in the lead. So many Cresselia apparently in like lower-ish elo range, which does make sense because it's like a Pokemon that has been available for quite a long time and been like always kind of decent in this cup. I feel like it kind of went a little bit downhill recently. It's still a solid Pokemon to use, like don't get me wrong, it's still a top tier meta Pokemon to use. It's just not as good as it was back in the day. Former glory of Cresselia was kind of wild. There was actually one season, I think it was only for one season, where Moonblast had I think a 30% chance to debuff the opponent's attack. And so basically everybody was spamming Moonblast on Cresselia the entire time for like one season, before like XL was a thing as well. And this Pokemon was just absurdly broken. But yeah, if you still remember this, good old times. Honestly, I miss those times. Like I miss those times where things were a little bit easier and not as heavy in terms of XL Pokemon. But here we will see the Dragonclaw connecting against the Giratina. Going to be able to get them quite low, but you can take the opponent's charge move no matter what. It's going to be the Dragonclaw coming through again, and you can go back into your Honchcrow most likely to go for the full farm down. Let's see if we're going to do that. Exactly. And so 3 Snarls, all it takes to knock them out. Let's see what's coming in next. It's going to be the Cresselia, and you can overfarm by a little bit and go for a charge move now. This Dark Pulse, of course, going to do like 20 million% damage against the opponent, but they decide to use a shield, so they're weak to you. It is going to be the Umbreon in the back end, so we're going to see the no shield, which is correct. This is going to be a resisted foul play, and so the Brave Bird is going to connect. We're just going to enjoy this boom now. Bye-bye. And so we can just swap out into the Pinsir. This game is over. This is so over. The foul play is coming through, and you can just go ahead and go for nearly the full farm down if you really wanted to. Going up to basically 2 Exodus is going to be great for you as well. This is going to connect and knock them out, and the next one is going to knock them out as well. Honestly, Pinsir is like a lot of fun. For sure, played this a few times as well. Very cool Pokemon. Final battle for today. Again, if you enjoyed this type of video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, as you're gonna encounter a Machamp here. That's going to be a tough one for this team. Why is it going to be a tough one? This Pokemon learns that Rock Slide. Look at the team, look at the Rock Slide resists, they don't exist. But you can let the move go through, just sacrifice your lead and go into your Charizard afterwards in order to farm them all the way down, which I guess is the way to go, as they don't get to another charge move, and so the Machamp goes down. Snorlax comes in, we can go for the big Blast Burn here, and you might even want to swap out because you resist the Lick on the other Pokemon, and you do exactly this, as they're going to stay in here still. Going for a charge move, you want to use a shield here for sure. Body Slam does a ton of damage, but you decide to let the move go through, and so you're forced to use a shield now on the second one, so it does not really matter anyway. Let's see if the opponent wants to swap out here. They do not. You can overfarm. This is a little bit too much, and they swap out into a Gengar. This would have been lovely to go for a Dark Pulse here, but Brave Bird, it is goodbye there, and another Brave Bird coming through. They might not expect it. Let's take a look at this. Boom, gonna knock them out through the shield, and this is going to be it for today's video. Thanks all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.